Okay, so today I wanted to talk about the difference between a professional and amateur. So if you are someone who is not having increased confidence, if you're having increased revenue, if you are not having increased competence, then you might actually be an amateur. So how are we going to change that? Part of that is if you don't like the results that you're getting, then it just might be a decision that you've made. So why not make a new one? See, you have to tend to the grass. If you are someone that's looking somewhere else saying, oh, someone else is getting better results, I'm not able to, you're in this negative mindset. You're looking on the other side thinking that the grass is greener over there. But in all honesty, you have to be tending to your grass. You have to be nurturing it. You have to be doing the studying. You have to be doing the practicing and the role playing. You have to be in your content each and every day, learning how to get better, how to master your art. So how are you going to do that? What is the difference between someone who is successful and someone who isn't? So the people who are successful, there are some indicators, right? And so what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about what they do different. And part of that is having big targets. So the first thing is big targets. That would be a key right there. Are your targets big enough? Are you actually doing your goals every morning and every night? Have you set your target so high that it gives you fire to get up every morning and just run, hit the ground running? Well, part of that too is having a plan. You need to have a plan. Do you have a plan? So the difference between a professional and an amateur is, so the amateur would not have the big targets and they would not have a plan. But someone who is a professional has big targets and has a big plan. So the third part is they have no sales. So an amateur is going to have no sales. So are you someone that has lots of sales? Are you killing it every day? Or are you someone who's an amateur who has no sales? The other one is no training. An amateur is not going to be in there training every day. A professional is going to be training. So training would be the next one. And whether you are doing it or not doing it is going to be the decision as to whether you're the professional or the amateur. So no KPIs. If you are an amateur, you're not going to be actually looking at your key performance indicators. You're not going to be actually tracking how you're following up, how every conversation you're having. So KPIs are really important. And if you do not have a CRM system, I will tell you this is a great way to track your KPIs. Then the next one is going to be, it takes too long. You might be thinking if you're an amateur, well, this is taking too long, and then you give up and you quit. The difference between a professional and an amateur is that's not even an option. Quitting is just not an option. So we're going to say takes too long. Then number 7 is going to be financial literacy. Do you have financial literacy? Do you understand the numbers? Do you understand how to take your target and reverse engineer it? That's another piece of it. So there's the financial literacy is really important. And then what do you do with your finances when you receive them? Are you investing? Are you learning the art of what to do with the revenue? So this is going to be another piece of the difference between an amateur and a professional. And then is it not scalable? If you have something that you're doing and it's not scalable, that's another piece. So the scalability. Do you have the ability to be able to grow and scale whatever you're doing? And then do you refuse to change your environment? Sometimes it requires you having to change your environment. And that might be the circle that you're keeping all around you. So changing of environment might be another one. Okay, So, what's the difference between a professional and an amateur? Let's just kind of go over that again. The difference is that the professional, they actually have big targets. The amateur doesn't. The number two is the professional has the plan and the amateur does not have a plan. Number three is sales. So you're killing it in sales when you're a professional because you've done your practicing, you've done your role playing, you have been training and training and training. And so that is the sales part. If you're an amateur, you're not doing that. The training would be the next, as we just spoke about. And so are you in your training every day? Are you doing repeated actions? One of the things that I've been finding that is better, have you tried doing role playing with yourself when you have no one to role play with, where you are actually in the mirror practicing? You're practicing how you look to the customer, how you sound to the customer, how your voice sounds, and record yourself. Because when you're doing that, you actually start to notice when your tone actually goes to a lower energy, or when it's at a higher energy, when you need to, slow down, you actually will start to see the repetition of how you're improving as well. So, and that will help to give you that confidence as you're going out into your marketplace. Because now you're not practicing on your potential clients, you're actually practicing with someone who you can use as accountability partner, or you're practicing in the mirror to make sure and recording yourself to make sure that you actually are seeing the improvements as you go along. And then you don't want to take too long. Because the difference between the professional and the amateur is the professional is not taking too long. They're actually in action all the time. And it's literally being in massive action that, because speed is one of the things that is going to get you to where you're going faster. Then the financial literacy. Are you doing everything to educate yourself on how to actually utilize the finances? So as you're receiving it, the only way to scale up is to actually learn how to invest and how to utilize growing your wealth as you're learning and selling. So then do you have a scalable system? So are you scaling up? And then changing of your environment. How many of you have found that sometimes the environment that you're in could actually be so noisy and not giving you that lift that you need? So surround yourself with people that are going to go ahead and lift you up, who are going to tell you that you can do it, who are going to teach you the way, who are going to be mentoring you. Mentors are really important. Coaches are important, because guess what? They help to take your belief lid and open it up and show you the way. Because when they're walking alongside you, there are times where when we're talking to ourselves, the voice that's talking to you isn't the right voice. So you need someone else to tell you and show you the way. And so that you can grow into what it is that target and that mission and that vision of who you are, what you do, and how you serve the world. And they help to really help you clearly define that. And so that might be one of the things that you think of as an option as well. Get some help. Surround yourself with some really good people that are going to lift you up and help build that confidence and grow you.